Hello, Eagles Nation, and welcome back to the Kelly Blitz podcast. I'm your host and fellow Eagles fan, Adrian Pisano. If you're new to the podcast, make sure you subscribe to our channel and follow us on our social medias at the Cali Blitz podcast. The Eagles are 2-0 to start out the season, and that's right, 2-0 after defeating the Kansas City Chiefs. Jake the Make Elliott is back after hitting a 58-yarder. Jalen Carter and the defense look pretty good out there and put on a great performance. And it seems that the Chiefs dynasty is over, or at least it's not as strong as it used to be. Sorry, Chiefs fans. The Philadelphia Eagles traveled down to Kansas City this past Sunday to face off against the Kansas City Chiefs in a Super Bowl rematch. While this game was completely different, the result was the same. The Eagles came out on top, defeating the Chiefs 20-17. This was definitely a more defensive game, and the Eagles racked up 2 sacks, a really great interception by the rookie Andrew Mukuba, which really shifted the momentum of the game. I believe the Chiefs were in scoring position, and Patrick Mahomes attempted to pass it to Butterfingers Travis Kelce, who dropped it, and it went up in the air. And that's when the rookie Mukuba picked it up and took it for 30 or so yards. It seems that Patrick Mahomes has a thing for throwing interceptions to rookie Eagles players. First, Cooper DeJean, and now Andrew Mukuba. Adoree Jackson, number 8, on the defense, looked slightly better than he did last week, but he still gave up too many yards to be comfortable. I hope this slight improvement was a sign of good things to come. Vic Fangio, our defensive coordinator, decided to pressure Mahomes in this game after not doing so in the Super Bowl. And I think it really worked. The pressure was definitely getting to Patrick Mahomes, and whenever it did, it seems that Mahomes was just a bit off with his passes. There was plenty of passes where it hit the ground or they were slightly off. With this being more of a defensive and grinded out game, the offenses both had to earn every yard. Jalen Hurts went 15 for 22 for 101 yards, and he added 15 yards on the ground and a touchdown thanks to the tush push. I guess 101 yards wasn't enough for Chris Jones though, as he clearly was upset at the end of the game. On the ground, Saquon had 88 yards on 22 carries, and he added a great touchdown to get the Birds on the scoreboard. He had a few great cuts and a few great runs, definitely looked better than last week. And we had sightings of both A.J. Brown and DeVonta Smith. A.J. Brown had a few good catches, and I'm happy that he got more than one target this game. DeVonta Smith, doing DeVonta Smith things, had a great catch on the sideline for 50 yards or so, and that really helped us win the game. In terms of special teams, Jake the Make Elliott is back. He hit a 58-yarder to give us the lead early on in the game. Last year, he really had enough last year, missing quite a few kicks that he should have made. And this year, he's off to a better start. It seems that Jake Elliott is on a comeback tour to remind the league that he is an elite kicker. Despite these good things on offense and on defense and on special teams, what concerns me the most is our coaching. More concerning is our offensive coordinator, who seems to be Brian Johnson 2.0. There's been a lot of similarities between our current offensive coordinator and Brian Johnson, who was in Philadelphia a few years ago. And what really concerns me is the predictability of the Eagles. On each play, it seems that we know what they're going to do. I think it's frustrating and it's a little dumb to run on each third and long situation and not even go for the first down. Even with Saquon, one of the best running backs in the league, it's going to be tough getting those 10 yards or maybe even longer on each of those plays. Instead, our offensive coordinator should trust our wide receivers. I mean, we have A.J. Brown, who's the number 1 wide receiver in the league, and we have DeVonta Smith, who would be a wide receiver number 1 on several other teams. I hope that this is due to his inexperience in the league, or at least calling plays. He's only been in the position for 2 weeks, and I hope he gets more comfortable as the year goes on. As we play each game, he gets more experience, and I hope he's able to turn the offense around so we can look a bit more like the Eagles that won the Super Bowl a few months ago. I believe this game really showed the Eagles' championship pedigree and our resilience to win a game. Those great teams always find a way to win, and I think the Eagles are able to do that both in a shootout and in a more defensive, grinded out game like such was with the Chiefs. And so we should be happy that the Eagles are 2-0. Lots of improvements to be made, but I believe in our coaches. I believe in Nick and Jalen Hurts and that defense to get this team to where it wants to be. It's only week 2, and I think our team is good for only week 2, and we are definitely better than other teams in different positions. Despite the 2-0 start, there was more drama concerning the tush push this week, coming from players and teams such as the Chiefs and Chris Jones complaining about it. And I think it's just a matter of they can't stop it. There were some replays this past week where they showed false starts from the Eagles during the tush push, and they should have been called. But that was only 2 times, and I think most of the times it's played correctly and there isn't any false starts. Lane Johnson tweeted out later on saying, hate us because they ain't us, and I think that's true. We run the tush push at its highest success rate. We've mastered it. We have the best O-line in the game, and so we're able to get 1 or 2 yards pretty consistently with that play. Other teams have tried it, and they haven't had as much success as we do. This offseason, they were trying to ban it, and they were unable to do so. And a lot of it was due to injuries, but the data shows that there was not enough injuries to ban it. And so I don't think it'll be banned, but a lot of people are complaining, saying it should be banned. And honestly, I think they're just mad that they can't stop it. In the words of Lane Johnson, they hate us because they ain't us. With the Eagles and Chiefs recap out of the way and that 2-0 start, it's time to move on to the up and the down of the week. A weekly segment where I'll be talking about a team who impressed me the most and the one who disappointed me the most. This week, the team that impressed me the most was definitely the Indianapolis Colts with Daniel Jones. They beat the Broncos 29-28 in a performance where Daniel Jones had 316 yards on 23 for 34 passing and a touchdown with 0 picks. Jonathan Taylor added to the offense by adding 165 yards on the ground. It was a really good game, and in the end, it seemed that the Broncos were actually going to get the best of the Colts. But due to a flag, the kicker of the Colts was able to make a 45-yarder and win the game. Daniel Jones has had 2 great performances, and it really raises the question of whether we're going to see another Giants player have a resurgence with another team, just like Saquon did with us a year ago. Or was it simply that the Broncos might have been too overhyped? I was definitely one of the believers, and I haven't seen anything special so far. The Colts have looked good, and they are off to a 2-0 start, and they are looking to make some noise, so definitely be on the lookout for them. In terms of the team that disappointed me the most, the Minnesota Vikings definitely take that position, especially after that Week 1 performance against the Bears where they looked pretty good. This time around, on Sunday Night Football, the Minnesota Vikings were destroyed by the Falcons in a 22-6 game, where they were only able to score 2 field goals. That's right, only 6 points on 2 field goals. That will definitely not get the job done. J.J. McCarthy went 11 for 21 for 185 yards. And at first glance, that doesn't sound bad at all, but then you throw in the fact that he threw 2 picks, and it changes the whole story. The Vikings defense were ran over by Bijan Robinson for 143 yards, and it was really good impressive by Penix Jr. and the Falcons. Even worse for the Vikings, their QB got injured, and he won't be able to start next week or maybe even a couple of weeks. This week 3, a former Eagles quarterback and MVP candidate will start, and that's none other than Carson Wentz. Will the Vikings get the MVP candidate Carson Wentz, or will they get the Carson Wentz in the last year that he was with Philly? I guess we'll find out. Those were the 2 teams that impressed me and disappointed me the most. We'll see who's on the up and down in Week 3. The Eagles and the Rams will face off in Week 3 at Lincoln Financial Field, a home game for us. The Eagles are minus 185 favorites currently. Last time we played the Rams, it was in the divisional game in the playoffs, and we beat them in a tightly contested game. The Rams just recently beat the Titans in Week 2 in a 33-19 game. whenever we face the Rams, we always know it's going to be a good game because they have an experienced QB and an experienced coach in Matthew Stafford and Sean McVay. They've both shown that they can win the big one when they won the Super Bowl a couple years ago. And we know they're always going to put up a good fight because they have that competitive and championship mindset. I believe it's going to be a good game. I think it might be tight. But if our defense plays the way that they did last week, I think we could have a comfortable win. I think our offense will look better this week. Last year, Saquon had two of his greatest performances of the year against the Rams, one in the regular season and one in the playoffs. We all remember that sight of seeing Saquon Barkley banging his head when he hit a 60 or 70-yarder last year. I think the final score will be 28-17 in favor of the Eagles. The Eagles are looking to move to 3-0 this season when they face off against the Rams in Week 3 in Philly. I think it'll be a good game. It'll be a close game, but I think the Eagles will be able to edge it out. That's going to wrap it up for this week's episode of the Cali Blitz. Make sure you subscribe to our YouTube channel. Follow us on our social medias at the Cali Blitz. And I'll see you next week. As always, go Birds.